Hi guys, good evening. So, I thought I will talk a little bit about change, okay? So, most of us tend to face change in our life at a certain point in time. Now, interestingly, change is something that all of us tend to look forward to. However, there are times where the change can scare us. Okay, now that is something that I completely understand. If the change that you are facing is something that is going to scare you, however, I would like to give you some thoughts, at least my point of view on change. Okay, so there are two extremes, right? On one side we have our patterns, and now we are used to our patterns. Okay, for me that is called certainty. Okay, we would like to get up at a certain point in time. We would like to sometimes dress up and go to work, right? Whatever that we do, we are used to certain patterns and we are comfortable with it. Now when we want to change something about ourselves, of course for me that certainty tend to change into uncertainty. Make sense? Right? So let's say for an example, you want to take a career shift, or for that matter somebody who's single want to get married, right? There are certain things that we are used to, and chances are that probably you might not be able to do that anymore, or probably you may have to change your patterns. So the point that I'm trying to make here is this: I believe if you want to progress, and I believe every human being should progress as they go on in life, whenever you are looking at progression, change is going to come and hit you at a certain point in time. So one thing that is going to be certain is that your life is going to be uncertain at a certain point in time. Your life is going to be uncertain at a certain point in time. Now that sense of uncertainty, that sense of changing patterns is going to scare us at times. Make sense? Right? Just imagine the time that you ended school and started getting into the corporate world. Okay, in case if you had to sort of leave the corporate world and had to retire, right? You were single and you got married. When you were married, your wife gave birth to the first child. So there are so many life changes that happens over a period of time. Now my point is this: I absolutely can understand if change can give you jitters. Okay, sometimes a sense of uncertainty, changing our patterns, changing the way that we live our lives, can always make us feel uncomfortable. Now the point of this video is to talk about this simple point. Okay, and that simple point is this: I don't think anybody faced uncertainty by seeing the full picture, in the sense that whenever somebody took a certain call to make a certain change in life, nobody saw the entire picture. Now you might say that, how about a vision? Of course you might have a certain vision, but there will always be certain things that you can't see in your path. Agreed? Makes sense? Who knows what is going to happen tomorrow? So my point that I'm trying to make is this: all people, if not for most people who faces change, tend to face a sense of uncertainty. Okay, and that uncertainty might give you jitters, or the fear of uncertainty might hit you. Make sense? Right. So in front of change, then, for me, being brave, okay, being brave is about this is the point of this video, so hear me out. In front of change, in front of uncertainty, being brave is all about, for me, looking at your best case scenario. Okay, looking at your best case scenario and then evaluating your worst case scenario. All right, so you have your two scenarios. Now one scenario is your best case scenario, second scenario is your worst case scenario. For me, being brave is about first being scared, second looking at the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, and making a decision based on the fact that I will fall anywhere between my best case scenario and my worst case scenario. So what is being brave? This is my definition of being brave. Being brave is first being scared, but hoping that whatever happens as a result of the change will happen between your best case scenario and the worst case scenario. Now, here's the thing: most of us in front of change tend to resist change, and we come up with all sorts of excuses. Are you familiar with this? I myself have come up with many excuses not to face change. However, I'm not trying to say all change is good, but I also believe that in order for somebody to progress in life, change is a must. So if this video helps you to look at change from a different point of view, that's the whole objective of the video. So in front of change, be brave. I don't think there was a single human being, I may be wrong, but I don't think there was a single human being who faced change, who faced uncertainty without being scared. I think fear is quite normal when somebody is facing change, but look at your first best case scenario, look at your worst case scenario. You might be scared, but being brave is about hoping that you will fall between your best case scenario and your worst case scenario. After all, being scared, being fearful is quite normal in front of change. My view to it, I don't know whether you agree. Hopefully this video was useful, guys. Take care, have a good night, bye.